Hello, you wonderful people. So for today's video, I'm going to discuss the trailer that just came out today at the time of me recording this for Stranger Things Season 3. This is like the final trailer because it drops in 2 weeks from now. I don't know whether this is going to be a thoughts and theories or just a plain discussion, but either way, we'll find out as the video goes along. But I think this is kind of fascinating, the structure of this trailer, because the first trailer, I feel like it was very like setup-ish in the sense that it's just kind of more focused on the kids and being like, okay, so this is their story, like what's going on with them. Obviously, everyone trying to move past, trying to live their normal lives after everything that they've been through for basically the past 2 seasons, and it's just kind of like everything's good, just enjoying life. That's kind of more so. Obviously, it sets up the tone of like, oh, there's other stuff, there's something else happening they got to prepare for. Like the whole trailer was more so about like Dustin coming back, and it's like everyone else is kind of growing up, and it's just kind of like they're kind of pulling apart as a group. And just to see like this being completely different, this is more like, that was kind of like the kids, the human side of things. This seems like it focuses more on the monster side of things, because it seems like we're dealing with the same monster from last season, the Mind Flayer. It seems like when, you know, 11 closed the gate, he stayed, which we see a Mind Flayer at the end, but I was like, oh, I guess that just means, oh, there's going to be a whole bunch of them, but it's like, no, it's just this one in particular, which is interesting because I was like, the Demogorgon didn't have a personality. It was just kind of like a mindless killing machine, but it seems like the Mind Flayer is more. I mean, to be fair, it goes to the point of infecting Will, so like there is some consciousness to that, but I think that it is this being that is thinking, it's like, oh no, I'm not here just, I'm gonna start with this town, I'm gonna devour all of you, and then I'm going to the war, which is like crazy that they, Stranger Things, because like even though it's like these big stories, it's still a very small story, but I mean, it makes sense, but to see things kind of build up to the point, it almost seems like we're on some like world destruction level stuff, because this thing plans to devour this entire world. I mean, because I guess it's kind of like its world is nothing and barren, so it's like, oh, your world's full of life, let me devour that. And that's so fascinating to think that we're going to get to that. This is like extinction level, like where you just kind of get glimpses and you hear it roaring. It's like, this is some kaiju level stuff. This is something like out of Godzilla, which is pretty dope. And so it's so interesting, obviously, that, you know, obviously 11's going to have to step up, because like she's the only one fully armed with the powers to, well, let's not forget her sister too, but I don't know. Like, it's interesting because the trailers have not really tackled that too much, but that, I mean, to be fair, we're obviously getting like a lot of out of context stuff, but it just like her sister hasn't really popped up at all in the trailers. That was a plot point from season 2 that was there, that was kind of left hanging. So it's like, what about that whole situation? Because obviously the government's coming into this too. We like helicopters flying in and stuff like that, but can they do anything? Is it going to be up to our group, in particular up to 11? She's just kind of like, leave this to me, you know. Obviously like Hop is like, no, I want you to be safe, like I know you're like the best one for this, but I want to make sure you're safe, because I guess out of anyone, he's gunning for 11 because she's like the ultimate weapon against him, and it's like, I'd rather kill you and get out the way, because if I kill you, there's no one left to stop me from doing what I'm trying to do, kill everyone in this world. So it's so fascinating. And as I thought with just the way the first trailer was, it's like, oh, it seems like Billy gets possessed or something. Lo and behold, yeah, I mean, it possessed Will last season, but it seems like it goes after Billy, because I guess Billy's kind of weak-minded enough. Like Will put up more of a struggle, you know, he fought so hard against it, but I think Billy, let's face it, Billy's an asshole. You know, I mean, to be fair, we understand the circumstances of why he's an asshole, because we look at him and Max's dad, and it's like, you can understand why he kind of turned out the way he did. It's his way of kind of, his terrible way of dealing with your kind of abusive dad. But the fact is that I think that kind of makes it easier, because like the Mind Flayer is probably able to get inside of his head and be like, oh yeah, like give in to me, like the fact that matters, I'll make you feel powerful, you know. So that in itself is very interesting. Obviously, like there's a lot of stuff we still don't really know how everything kind of fits together, like I said, or just what the government's, obviously they're going to try and contain this, but still, you know, because there's always been the deal with Hop and the government being like, oh, I won't let everyone know what you've been up to, you know, just him trying to keep the balance and the peace and everything, and obviously trying to let 11 lead and live a normal life. That's why he kept her hidden most of season 2. Well, not most of season 2, but a good chunk of season 2. He kept the fact hidden that she was alive from everyone. Obviously, Mike didn't appreciate that, but still, I think this is obviously just like, this trailer gets me even more hyped, because it's not like I wasn't already hyped, but it gets me even more hyped for season 3, because I think season 3 is probably going to be, scale-wise, the biggest season. And obviously, like each season, you kind of gotta have to keep outdoing yourself. And it's gonna be so fascinating, because I feel like this is probably also gonna be a season where we get to see 11 probably potentially fight more. because a lot of her big showdowns tend to be, not always, like obviously she uses her powers in spurts, but it's usually like, this seems like it's going to be like her using her powers on offensively a lot more, because they're just going to be constantly in danger, especially, you know, how much it took out of her to close the, like season 2's finale, like closing the mind flare off, closing the gate and everything. I guess it's going to try and open up a gate and let everything from the upside down. Once again, that's still unexplored territory that we don't 100% know. Maybe that's even a plan to open the gate back up, push it through. It's going to be interesting. Obviously, also it's interesting too, because it seems like at one point you see like a fleshy creature, so it's like somehow this thing literally manifests itself in a flesh form, you know, which it hasn't done that before. It's always been like in a shadowy creature form, like, you know, when, you know, ended up possessing Will and stuff like that. I mean, obviously we saw it at the end of season 2 when she closes the path, but it's like it looks all fleshy. It's because I feel like, I mean, to be fair, it's been a while since I've seen season 2, but we see a glimpse of it in the trailer too. It's like it didn't seem fleshy, so I guess that's maybe like, could we see a whole bunch of rats running, so maybe it accumulated all that rat flesh and made itself into a body or something. I don't know. I think they did a very nice job of not actually giving you a full glimpse of. You get a little peek here, and you see the kids hiding at the end of the trailer, and you hear it roaring, so that's going to be wild. I'm so fascinated to see how this whole situation plays out, because, like, you know, like I said, like, it's been a very allocated situation that they've ever really kind of had to deal with. Like, obviously the Demogorgon was a problem on its own, but it was still enough that they could kind of handle. Obviously the Mind Flayer was a situation ultimately 11 had to handle, but I'm curious if this is going to be something even beyond that, especially because this thing seems like it's smart enough. Like, maybe there's more to it than just like, oh, it's some creature from the upside down that has some form of intelligence. Maybe there's someone who came to the upside down who fused with it or something. You know, maybe there's an angle like that, or maybe there is a lot more, once again, a lot more to the upside down that we don't know about how things operate and how the creatures operate in that world. I'm so excited to see what season 3 has in store for us. Obviously, this is just kind of what's rummaging through my head about everything. In the comments down below, let me know what you thought of the trailer, how excited you are for season 3. Let me know all that in the comments down below. Really, that's all I want to talk about. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, really like to enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.